Hello, everybody, and welcome to the FrameRate podcast. My name is Morg, and with me I have Gaius. Say hello there, Gaius.
Hello, I'm Dick.
Alright, today we're doing something a little different from what our normal thing is. Gaius and I have been working together somewhat. He's been doing most of the technicalities to it, and I've just been helping with the polishing of a new RPG system based on Dragon Ball. I don't think we actually had a name for the system, but we have a name for the test campaign, which is Dragon Ball Xenith.
Yes, except for instead of a Z, it's an X.
Yeah, instead of a Z, it's an X. So it's not Dragon Ball Z-Nith, it's Dragon Ball Xenith with an X, obviously.
Yeah, so it'd be like DBX.
Yeah, DBX instead of DBS and DBZ. Alright, so basically what we're going to be doing in this podcast is we're going to be working on the system, we're going to be developing some of the first arc villains, and running through some things to try and test what works, what doesn't. We have actually quite a bit already done. We're just working on most of the villains right now, and I figured we'd record some of that and see if people like it. If they don't, we won't do it again, but if some people show interest, we might make it a regular thing.
Yeah, maybe even not for like this podcast, but maybe like
Maybe a separate podcast, who knows?
A Xenith podcast where it's just,
I do plan on streaming the test runs of it, though.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because most of our stuff is digital, so we can almost run it whenever the heck we have time.
Yeah, preferable would be it'd be
ideal to do it in person, yeah. And there's no dice involved, there's no like having to roll shit, it's all purely stats. It's an actual RPG where you can build the character however you want with like 5 main groups of types of builds you can have. Obviously, you can still build it however you want, but your base stats will be based off of that archetype and the stat allocations you decide. So, go ahead.
Which one did we leave off on?
Well, I filled in my sheet. I filled in Tyler's sheet. I think we did Slat, which
except excluding health, I might just, because everyone else's stats were up by 500, might up all of the villains up by 200.
Oh no! Believe me, even with the 500 stat increase, Slat is perfectly fine.
I mean, like just like for the ones that Tyler's is gonna fight.
You are probably right on that. So let's see. Grants. Yeah, that might be a smart plan because if his enemy only has a power rating of 700,000 when he has a power level of 6 million, I don't think that's going to go too well for the other dude. Oh, I didn't mean to type that. Whoops. Whoops. Here, I'll run the math. I think by increasing them by like 200.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems about right. Love you too, honey. My girlfriend just came by and gave me a hug. Well, a kiss. So, boy, ignore that. Ignore that. Let's see. So his health is 10,000. Multiply that by the stamina of 3,700. And then multiply that by half of ki, which half of 250 is 175. And then divide that by 1250. Oh yeah, that's a little closer. It's about 5 million.
Yeah, so that way it'll be a comparable fight. It'll take him more than one turn.
Yeah, which is kind of the plan because the whole plan is to have me fight 2 of them. Because I'm like the higher power level, but he's supposed to still be able to come and help me out. Because one of them is way stronger than me, and one of them is way weaker than me. Or not way weaker than me, but he's about half my power level, and the other one's about almost double my power level. Or power rating.
Yeah, so you're basically fighting a 2.5 power rating enemy, which can... Technically, it's more lethal than that.
The only thing that I have on him is my blast damage, my attacks and I think my total ki. Because he has more health than me, he has more. Well, he has the same strike as me, obviously. Or does he after the stat increase? No, actually, I have strikes on him. I think I have just barely a little bit of stamina and speed on him. Not as much as I'd like. So I'm actually pretty close stat-wise to this other dude. To the blaster type.
Yeah, you're just still having to fight
Yeah.
two opponents, which is the thing.
Yeah, for the all-rounder, I could probably take him out with an ult because I'm faster than him, and my blasts, if I use my ult because I now have the attacks to do so, I can actually one-shot him. But because of the other dude, I might not get a very clear opportunity to.
Yeah.
Because I'll have that guy on my tail. It'll basically be the whole Trunks Goten versus these guys type thing. Or versus the next guys type thing.
Yeah.
Or however that was going to work. So, let's see. For Rubis, his power level is still 1.6 million. Which is weird. We probably need to up the stats on Rubis. Because if Grants is stronger than him, I think that's a problem considering Rubis is level 55. We could probably raise like the gem trio by like 300 maybe.
Yeah.
Because they already have stats that slightly exceed ours, so we can just raise them by like 300 since we're going to get a couple levels before the I think before we fight them.
Yeah, you'll gain like a level.
Yeah. I do know that I can't beat Rubis in one hit in my current state, even though his power level's only 1.6 million. I would not be able to one-shot him because he has too much health and too much defense. Because he'd have like 5,600 defense, and then I do about 25,000 with an ult. Actually, no, I'd still one-shot him. But I don't think we want me to be able to one-shot him.
Yeah, no, I don't want you to.
Yeah, to basically give some background to the people who might listen to this, my power rating is 17 million. My max damage output is 25,000. My health is 6,000. So at the moment, actually no, actually it's like 27,000, but nah. At this current point in how we're building this so that we can get started, I have the most damage output for one singular attack. Tyler, however, who is the other person that we're test running this with, which you will discover as Tyler Cubed in the Discord server, has a power level of 6 million, 6,000 health, but his melee attacks, which is what he's focusing on, can do, in one of his ults, he can do about 20,000 damage. Actually 22,000 damage. So, but he has the ability to do like 4 or 5 of these attacks in the same turn. I think it's max of 4 because he has 247 attacks. So he can do it 4 times.
His attacks should have gone up with his new.
Oh, right. I forgot to recalculate those, and that was stamina plus physical divided by 25.
Yeah.
So 4575 plus 2700 divided by equals that divided by 25. 291. So he could do it 5 times now. And each one of those attacks can do 20,000 damage. So his max damage output in a turn is 100,000 from multiple attacks. So if he does this move 5 times, he can do more damage than me in one attack. By many times over. But doing that would mean that he'd lose a lot of stamina. He'd lose a lot of his guard by doing that.
Yeah, so he has to trade off. He has to trade off like dealing damage for keeping up his
Defense.
defense.
And my character does not have any physical defense. I only have like defense against ki blasts and like beams. I can only match those and completely nullify them against myself. But any physical attacks, I have very low defense. I think my looking at it right now, my active defense, which means that I am actively making the decision to guard, is only about 2,000. Tyler's, however, is about 7,000, which means that if he takes an attack and the damage is less than 7,000, he completely nullifies it with no damage taken. But if it exceeds his, he still knocks 7,000 damage out of that attack.
Yeah. More exactly, it would be. Hold on, let me.
More exactly, it would be about 7,275.
Yeah, I'm trying to move things around, but calculator does not want to cooperate.
Yeah, I'm just using the calculator on my phone to make it easier.
Oh, there we go. I'm using the Windows calculator so I can like put it in the corner.
Ew. I get it, but also still ew. Yeah. Thankfully, one of the two people. Oh wait, we didn't raise his stats yet. Do we have to raise Slat's stats? I would really rather we didn't.
I don't care.
He's already pretty fucking up there. Like, he's got the tanking capability. His physical defense is crap, but I don't use strikes. And if I did, it still wouldn't beat his defense. Tyler's would for sure. But he's a blaster, so that makes sense. And then his key defense would just barely be less than mine. So he's still stronger than me, just in a different way.
Yeah, he's able to make up for what you lack in.
He can't exactly overwhelm me, but he can keep me from getting too complacent. Like, he can keep up with me in speed, if only just barely. He matches me in strikes. So if he were to get close and do close quarters, we'd be pretty evenly matched, and we'd both have even defense, but it wouldn't really do anything to each other. And in blasts, he can almost equal me, so I don't think he's too worried. But he's also got like 5,000 more health than me.
Yeah, no, he has a shit ton more health.
His fucking power rating is 25 million. I'm only at 17. He actually still scares me, even though most of his stats are about equal to mine. Mainly just because of the allocation of stats. Because he's a ward of attrition for me, and then a stone is just somebody who I can attempt to fucking one-shot, but then I don't know if I'm actually going to guarantee it. And the all-rounder matches me in attacks, so if he wants to guard my attacks or block my attacks, he can launch things to try and nullify or weaken. Like, he can do what Tyler was asking about doing, where he can just throw an attack, and he won't necessarily stop it or nullify it, but he'll weaken the attack damage a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, like, what Tyler could do is if he, like, let's just say he, like, level up, he can dump points into Strike and just keep pumping Strike up until...
He matches my ult.
Yeah, so basically he could...
He could nullify my entire moveset pretty much just with a punch.
Yeah, we'll just start as Punisher.
But then I also equal him out because they'll be neutral. If I dump into Stam, I can get more attacks and be able to be like neutral with him.
Yeah, unless he just keeps pumping into...
If he keeps pumping into fucking stamina, I am going to be mad at that man.
Well, I think right now...
That's like the best option he can get. He's already got a max damage output per turn.
You guys are even on stamina and ki.
Are we?
Yeah.
Who are you talking about? Me and Tyler?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we aren't. Oh, stamina versus key. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Stamina versus
In that
key.
case, yeah. I thought you meant that he and I both have the same key and the same stamina. I'm like, I don't think so.
You know, like so if his like strike was the same as yours, you guys could go blow for blow for ult.
Yeah. Although that would
And
kind of be a waste of time because we wouldn't need to. It would just waste the move.
yeah,
So I think that's basically why we don't fight.
yeah, because like he could just punch your shit out of the way, and
And I can
then
just blast to nullify his shit. I can't cancel like
although
I cancel him out, he cancels me out. He can just do more, so that would be where he has the advantage.
although he's like 3 times your speed.
Yeah, but I know he's faster than me, so I can try and anticipate it. It's kind of like the what is it? If you know it's coming, you're never gonna. What the hell was it? If you expect the unexpected, the unexpected becomes expected. So if I know his move is Stardust Punisher, which usually goes for like the ribcage area, then I'll be more aware of when he disappears to guard my ribcage area. If
True.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Although you said he was in the queue,
In what?
the queue for
Queue for hopping in here?
yeah, you said something about Tyler.
No, I said that Tyler's in the Discord if anybody is wondering who we're talking about.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, he's not hopping in on this. He says he has things to do.
Oh, it's kind of
Kind of
cringe.
kind of cringe, yeah. But basically, we start out at level 50 because starting at level 1's too much of a grind.
Yeah, I don't want to
And
go because like level 1 is around Raditz level. I don't want to redo all of
yeah, you
Z.
don't
I
want to
want to
start from Z. You want to start from after Z because you're starting way post Majin Buu Saga.
yeah, because it like is like what is it like 100 million? That's not incredibly high, but that's only like base form.
Yeah, that's base form. And this isn't even including Super Saiyan, which we're getting soon. We're getting Super Saiyan very early on because we don't want to have to fucking like wait forever for it. And it
Yeah,
kind of
so
just
like
kickstarts stuff.
going Super Saiyan puts him at 5 billion.
Puts what at 5 billion? I thought it. Oh yeah, it does
You
put us at
guys,
5 billion. That's right.
yeah, so like there's really no point in starting you guys up at higher base form and then just simply
Boink. Super Saiyan.
yeah. But yeah, so like the weakest of the villains so far is like half of Cell.
Yeah. Yeah, the weakest villain is half of Cell, which is really kind of scary.
And that's
Wasn't
this
Cell
that's
like 10 million?
it was he was 1 billion.
Oh, then the weakest villain we've got is not half of Cell.
Oh, it's like the 10th of Cell, but still that's like a lot. Like just
Yeah,
like the
something like that.
first not even like not even like one of the major fights is like half
Yeah,
of
it's
Cell.
half of Cell, so we're just kind of just not dealing with that. We don't want to have to go through the whole arcs like that.
Yeah,
It's
going
just,
up from
it's too much build up for what we're trying to do, which is test.
yeah, we're trying to test, not
We're
play a
testing,
legitimate
yeah,
story.
yeah, we're running through, we have arcs just to follow a guideline and create like a way to create a narrative or a way to just
Yeah, it's to like to test out
enjoy
like
testing it.
like yeah, that and also every arc there's like a new transformation given. So like that way I can
Excuse me.
test one thing at a time and not have to like okay do this and then do that and then do this and then do this. So that way like when I can I don't have to like sit down and just do one very huge fucking fight
Yeah.
with like
Um.
arbitrary numbers and we can just have like a forward moving test.
Yeah. To be We do have some arcs that are similar to Dragon Ball being put in, such as the Universal Blender arc or the Mandate of Heaven arc, where Mandate of Heaven is Beerus's awakening, I believe, or he wakes up, but we don't fight him.
You wake up, you fight him. Basically, it's pretty much just a
Ah,
battle
right.
of gods.
Yeah, it's just Battle of Gods. We fight him a little bit, and then he just kind of shows up from time to time, maybe.
And he's like, I
Do whatever you gotta do. I'm just here for food.
yeah,
Yeah. There's also Universal Blender, which is going to be our take on a Broly arc to see how that would work out, because we know
yeah.
that the
Imagine just like Broly, but like with Mira, where the more he fights, the stronger he gets, like the more energy he obtains.
yeah. And then we also have a Mimic arc, which kind of replicates a GT thing in the Baby Vegeta or Baby arc, where
Yeah,
one of the characters, namely mine, gets mind and body controlled by a parasitic being, kind of like
yeah,
how Baba does the mind control thing on Vegeta and Majin Buu, and how Baby does the body takeover mind control thing on Vegeta in GT.
yeah. So basically, like he gets a power buff. It brings him up from like Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan 2.5. Basically, so with how Trunks and Vegeta in the Cell arc buffed up, it'll be
Mm,
like that. So it's
yeah,
mainly how Trunks buffed up.
yeah. We are skipping and not doing the Super Saiyan third grade or second grade because those are far too minute and there is not enough information to get accurate
Yeah,
information on how it increases their capabilities. So we are
yeah.
sticking with
Just
the main three Super Saiyan alongside Mastered Super Saiyan and then Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan God. But those aren't relevant till Mandate of Heaven.
yeah, Super Saiyan 4 and God are then given in Mandate of Heaven.
Yeah,
And then also, the reason why like I said Super Saiyan 2.5 is specifically just because of the parasite thing.
yeah.
Once it leaves the body, he'll go back down to just Super Saiyan 2.
Mm,
But then the mimic character will have it'll have the power that he had when he was Super Saiyan 2.5.
yeah. So we have a total of, I think it was six possible transformations. Super Saiyan 1 to 4 plus Mastered. That makes
Yeah,
five. And then we had, oh wait, no, we had seven because we were talking about Super Saiyan God and then Super Saiyan Blue. Super Saiyan Blue being the thing that actually equals with Super Saiyan 4 and puts them on even footing.
yeah, because we are gonna give God like a bit of a initial buff, but
Yeah,
for the
not
sake of
plot and
making
game
it so
making.
that way Blue isn't, yeah, making Super Saiyan Blue not like a bajillion times stronger than Super Saiyan 4, we adjusted
Yeah, instead of
the,
having Super Saiyan God be a 10,000 times permanent multiplier and a 4,000 times power multiplier, we just made it a 4,000 times multiplier, essentially. Super Saiyan
yeah,
4 is, I believe, we also put it at a 4,000. Or Super Saiyan
yeah, it's
Blue
a
is a 4,000. Super Saiyan God is like a 3,500, somewhere around there. We haven't actually ironed out
yeah,
the numbers for those two yet.
yeah. I might make it 1,000.
For Super Saiyan God?
Yeah, and then Blue will have 4,000,
Hmm.
or like maybe like 3,000 and then 4.
Well, I believe. Did we make Super Saiyan 3 a 300 times multiplier or a.
Super Saiyan 3 was a 300,
Yeah, I think that sounds about right for what we'd do.
and Super Saiyan 4 is 4,000, and then also we gave Super Saiyan 4 a 10 times perma buff.
Oh, a 10 times perma buff to your power level?
Yeah,
Or
so the
power rating.
first uh for like it'll buff them up by 10 levels.
Ah, was that going to be the same with Super Saiyan God
Yeah.
or same with Super Saiyan Blue?
Super Saiyan God will give in initial 10 levels.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense.
And then, so like initially it'll be like a 30,000 versus a 40,000 multiplier in the initial transformation,
Yeah.
the first time.
So it'll be kind of close, but not really.
Yeah, and then Super Saiyan Blue will then just close the gap.
Yeah, it'll close the gap and get it up to being an equivalent multiplier.
Because then it'll be 4,000 and 4,000, and
Mm.
then that way they fight on even ground, because like Super Saiyan Blue is given like literally the next arc.
Yeah, which is the Universal Blender? Or
I
was that
believe
before?
so.
I think it was
I
Universal
think I
Blender.
think it's Path of Totality. Universal Blender
Maybe.
comes before, I believe.
Ah, okay. Just making sure. So in regards to stats for Emeraldus, actually, wait, did we get a stone done? Yes, we did. He was the all-rounder there. Grants was the brawler. Slat was the blaster. I believe those guys' stats have been taken care of. Was Grants brought up? Yes. And then
So
Astone.
the arcs are Marble Arc, Geneba Reborn, Tree of Might, Mimic, um, then Intergalactic, or Interstellar Surge, then Omega,
Basically, yeah. Interstellar
and
Search is
then
basically the Black Star Dragon Ball saga where they are searching for the Dragon Balls, and then Omega
yeah,
is basically just the Shenrons. But we're only
and
fighting
then,
three of four
yeah,
of them
Nova,
total.
Nova, Ice, and Sin, and then if they do manage to bully Sin, he goes into
Omega.
Omega,
Yeah,
and then um, and then Mimic Arc is just like the beginning. It's they find the first one, and that's like the first planet that they discovered the Dragon Ball is on. And then there's Mandate of Heaven,
mm,
and then Path of Totality, which is where Blue comes in. Shattered Chronos, where they'll all give them time skip.
yeah.
Then Universal Blender.
Which I believe Universal Blender was the first or the second one where you intended for us to do a type of fusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first one where we are actually doing fusion, which we are working out the specifics of that. So the two player characters can fuse, but you can't necessarily fuse with an NPC unless the DM allows it pretty much.
Yeah, a lot of the rules are discretional.
Yeah. So it's very vague and discretional, so you can do whatever you want with it, but the basic setup for like combat, stats, level mechanics are all going to be there. Um, I know that.
Um,
Hmm?
so like you can fuse in any arc you want.
But we have to
Like,
actively choose to fuse.
yeah,
The only one where you're going to like almost require us to fuse is Janemba Reborn because Gogeta's a badass and we like Gogeta, so fucking
yeah,
we want to fuse against Janemba.
yeah. So I'm gonna make Janemba like absolutely fucking broken bullshit and
Broken
requires.
bullshit that requires the fucking fusion. We also did swap the technical power scaling of the Patara versus the fusion dance. Instead of it being that the Patara multiplies the power levels together, that one adds them together and then multiplies them by a set amount. I think it would be dependent on level, to be honest. Uh,
Yeah,
the
maybe just like uh
half of combined level.
I think
Well, not the stats, the power level or rating. Something. I don't know.
I'm because the power rating is dependent on stats. So what I
Yeah.
was thinking of doing is um because Potara will last an hour, we're giving it a lower output than the dance,
Mm.
but the dance lasts half as long.
Yeah, so it gets a stronger buff for a shorter period of
And
time.
what we can maybe say is that transforming in the Potara doesn't drain the time.
Yeah.
So like less potential power, but more efficient and longer lasting.
And then there's
versus
Fusion Dance,
dance.
where it's like all this shit's going out right fucking now.
Yeah, it's like the difference between like a gas guzzling vehicle and like a fuel efficient like
Yeah.
hybrid, for example.
Difference between a V8 in a truck and a four-cylinder in a car.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like the dance will combine and then double the stats,
Mm.
but it'll only last like half as long, and then transformations will further
Yeah.
lower it.
If you fuse after transforming, the fused being the com- the your transformations added together, the stats in your transformations will become the base stats for the base form of your fusion. I believe we agreed.
Yeah.
So if you fuse in Super Saiyan 2, the buffs that apply to both of your characters in Super Saiyan 2, those stat buffs will be added together, including the buffs to the base form of your fusion, which can then transform from that.
Yeah, so basically, like, let's just say that, they both had, both you and Tyler have Super Saiyan 3.
Mm,
If you fuse in Super Saiyan 3, that'll be, that power level like, those power levels, like, will be the base,
yeah.
essentially.
So basically, the fusion will be as strong, twice as strong as the combined power levels of the two fusing at the Super Saiyan 3 level. So, say the health. Best way to put it is if both players have 1,000 health and they go Super Saiyan 3, which I believe was a 20 times multiplier to health. I think
Super
that's.
Saiyan 3,
Yeah.
I think
Because
so.
we meant to swap the Super Saiyan 4 and
Yeah,
Super Saiyan 3 just because Super Saiyan 3
yeah,
had the wrong number on there. But
yeah.
if you both have 20,000 health, you add that together, multiply it by 2, the fusion will have 80,000 health in its base form.
Yeah, so, like, with like,
Versus, yeah,
the highest health we have so far being only, like, 10,000.
I think it was 12,000 actually.
12,000.
Yeah.
So like
Like
an eighth of that essentially.
our character healths right now aren't even like up, they aren't even past like 7,000. So the fact that the highest health that we have right now is 6,000 is actually kind of alarming.
Yeah,
But
but
it's not super alarming because of our damage outputs. We're both glass cannons because we're dumb or smart, one of the two.
it depends entirely on how you play.
Yeah,
Like if neither of you like effective like try to do damage consistently, you'll lose
yeah.
very easily.
Like I can one shot one of the two guys I'd be fighting, but if I decide not to, he could one shot me, pretty much. Just going by how the tiers of attacks work, because we did separate attack types into tiers, like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and then ultimate tier. Each one of those tiers has a multiplier to the damage done equal to the tier of the attack. So tier 1, there is no multiplier, it is just the flat damage. Tier 2 doubles the damage, tier 3 triples the damage, and then ultimate tier multiplies the damage by 5. Kind of sticking to the Xenith idea, where like most ultimates take 500 key or whatever, but they also do like 5 times the normal damage that you would do, like just from a normal key blast or strike.
Yeah.
We also made it so that blocking an attack, depending on the tier of the attack, would exhaust from your opponent the same amount of stamina or key used to make the attack. So in total, from either side, if say you use a tier 2 attack on your opponent, that's 200 key or stamina from you, and then if it hits your opponent, that's 200 key or stamina from them.
It depends on like what they do. So like
Yeah,
a beam clash will take more nuance because like they could use a higher caliber blast or a lower,
yeah,
depending on like their tier. But if their tier 1 blasts are more powerful than then they're whoever they're facing like they're tier 2 and whoever they're facing uses a tier 2, they could just use a tier 1.
yeah.
So they would be able to win the clash with only a tier 1.
Simplest,
However,
the best way I can put this, which I say that a lot, but Tyler's again, I believe we've said this before. Tyler's ultimate does like is a ultimate technique. It's level 5, so it does 500 stamina use. My ultimate technique is a 500 key. So if we were to meet those head on, we'd cancel out the amount of stuff used on each other. Or no, I'd take 500 key from him, and
no,
or no, they'd
it's
cancel out.
like yeah, because like
I got a little
it
confused
would
in how I was explaining that.
it would cost 500 stamina for him to either to counter it
Or block it.
or block it, and then
And for me, it would
costs
cost either
you
500 stamina or 500 key.
in order to block
Yep.
his strike or to counter the blast,
Yeah.
because your strikes and blasts in comparison to one another are relatively similar.
The only thing that would separate that is the damage per. So even if he tries to counter the blast, the amount of damage he does with his blast would have to exceed my own
Or his strike.
or his strike. If he tried to counter one of my blasts with a strike, the strike's damage would have to exceed or equal my own for him to take no damage. But if
Yeah.
my damage exceeds his damage, he would still take damage from the attack, but it wouldn't knock him back or anything.
Yeah, so like if it was over by like 1 point of damage, he would only take
1
point
point
of
of damage.
which is insignificant.
It's insignificant, but if there was a larger gap, it would be more damage, obviously.
Yeah. So basically, it's like in like a video game, like or like a JRPG, where like like if you do an attack and it has to whatever damage is actually dealt is whatever the enemy's defense is exceeded by.
Yeah.
Or I guess a better analogy might be like you're filling a cup. You're filling like a 50 fluid ounce cup, right?
Mhm.
And you're filling it with the entirety of like a 100 fluid ounce bottle.
Mhm.
The cup will only hold 50 fluid ounces, but if you keep filling, it'll spill over that other 50.
Yeah. So it's the overflow from the attack damage that will be dealt to the opponent or yourself, depending on who's receiving the attack.
And another thing is, if the damage you would deal, it doubles their active guard if they're blocking. Then their guard broken, and then for the rest of your turn, they can't block.
Mm. So if you were to guard break your opponent and then do a stronger attack, you could potentially kill them just from guard breaking them. Well, you could get a kill from guard breaking them.
So like, which is what would make like CQC fighters so lethal is that
They'd
that's their
break the guard,
specialty is
yeah.
draining your stamina.
Yeah. That's why Tyler's terrifying, because he does like 500 stamina damage because his main thing is an attack that he can do like 5 times in a row, so he can knock out 2,500 stamina from somebody. And his damage would almost always exceed their guard by at least double. Mine would also exceed theirs by at least double. So both of us have our different ways of breaking their guard, but both of us have different types of damage.
And then because of Tyler's speed, because of his
His
strikes,
fucking broken ass shit he did.
yeah, he's able to close the gap in immediately. He has almost 300 individual attacks he can make.
Yeah. He's
which
at 291.
Which means he can make 291
Normal punches.
normal punches, or he could do.
I feel like the 291 normal punches would do more damage than the ultimate. I think that's actually accurate. Hold on, let me see how much damage 291 normal punches would do. Yeah, 291 normal punches from Tyler would do 1.1 million damage.
But they would all have to connect, and they would all
Yes,
have to exceed the
the
defense.
opponent's defense. So if Tyler were fighting the two that we're planning on having me fight, he could just beat them to death with normal punches. He wouldn't even have to use an ult. But because he has to take care of the brawler who could take me out in easily one hit.
However,
Yes.
if he were to um
If he were
if
to
you were to do heavy attacks, which would 11,
11,
11 heavy attacks, I think.
is that as many as he can do? What was the cost for heavy attacks?
5. I don't know. It might this Google or fucking Windows.
He could still do 58 heavy attacks.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. Fucking it keeps giving me different.
Different numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the damage rating? Heavy attacks were considered tier 2?
Yeah, tier 2 physical.
Okay, so then I'd multiply that by 4,075, and then I'd multiply that by 2 because it would be double damage. I'm sorry, what? 58 heavy attacks. So let's see.
Heavy attacks
58 heavy
times
attacks.
2,700.
I mean 2,700? Oh,
And
it's
just double that
physical?
result.
Oh, right, that's the damage for that, physical. Because strikes is only for ultimates, right? Or supers?
Yeah.
Okay, so physical 2,700 times. Oh, then I did the math wrong for the other one. I thought that was I thought strikes were just your normal like punches and shit. That was my bad. Times 58.2 is that, and then that times 2 is 314,000.
Oh, I just run it down just for whole numbers because you can't make only a fifth of attack.
Well, yeah. So it'd still be around 314,000.
Yeah, so like in terms of heavy damage, she could do that.
But I think the light damage would be better. Or actually, let me just double check what the light damage would be, because 291 times 2,700, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to say this, but doing the light attacks would still be the better option. It's more efficient. He'd do 785,000 damage instead of 314,000.
But then heavy attacks also have the capacity to knock away.
Yeah. But he could literally do a JoJo fucking blitz.
Yes,
The 7-page Muda.
but oh, it's gonna be more than 7 pages.
Oh, it's more than 7 pages, I know.
But like for example, if you wanted to knock away and then use the rest of his turn to charge a key, for example, if he ever wanted to use a blast, I don't know why you would.
I don't know why he would either. He has like fucking 500. Does he even have enough to we didn't make a key requirement for Super Saiyan, did we?
Mm-mm.
Okay, good. Because
No.
if there was one, he would not meet it.
He would not meet it.
He would not meet it.
But
Like, oh boy. Yeah. Alright,
speaking
so.
of, we should actually finish up your attacks.
Oh, I already wrote in one of mine. I filled in the description for my black hole driver.
I was just thinking like getting more like some specials.
Yeah, some supers in there.
I know we did gravity driver.
Yep. Gravity driver is basically a weaker version of black hole driver. So weaker version.
Gravity can go from a 2 to 3 tier, which would arguably make it more useful than black hole driver, mainly because he has like the ability to control how much it does.
Yeah.
So like he can either up the ante if he needs to.
So we said it was a 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So uses between 200 and 300 ki to deal damage to the opponent.
what we could maybe do is we could do like like that.
Ah, yeah. So this move pretty much does the same thing as Black Hole Driver, just weaker. So it's not quite the equivalent of a black hole. It might just be like a red dwarf or something, or just a supermassive planet or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit. But
It's equivalent to 10 Gs of gravity.
yeah, like that way it keeps it close. Like we can just tell based off of the tier how much key it costs and how much
Yeah.
the multiplier
Yeah, 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 yeah.
without having to write a couple extra lines.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Alright, so moving on to another one. I don't really have a need for a strike,
But it would be nice to have for
even
variance.
just to try and knock someone back, yeah.
Yeah, because like a strike is more likely to actually knock. Yeah, because a strike, if you make it like a tier 3, will be able to do more than a heavy.
Yeah. Let's see. If I did something, say, like a Newton Haymaker? No, that sounds dumb.
Maybe like
Neutronic strike and then make that just a
like a downwards kick,
maybe, yeah.
like a you do like a backflip kick,
Like fucking Gogeta and Janemba Reborn.
or yeah, maybe like maybe more like a front flip.
Yeah. So a front bicycle kick or a forward bicycle kick or whatever.
Yeah.
Head of the opponent. Knocking them towards the ground. Alright, so I put does a forward bicycle kick to the head of the opponent, knocking them towards the ground. And then that is a tier 2, tier 3. Yellow. Guys, me boy. Excuse us, we are having technical difficulties at the moment. We'll be right back once I get back in contact with guys. Couple moments, but we are now back, and we will make sure that this either gets kept or it doesn't get kept or whatever, or they put in that we're on an intermission or something. I don't know. Either way, we're getting back to the talking about the neutronic strike, which was the forward bicycle kick to the head of the opponent, knocking them towards the ground. And you said that was going to be like a tier 2, tier 3 type thing, because it's specifically strike.
Yeah, I would say yeah, tier 2, tier 3. It's like you can either use one or two legs.
And then I was, yeah. And then I was going to just do basically a Vegeta's move here, just consecutive energy blasts. Which can be either a tier 1, where it just does my normal blast damage, but I can launch multiple blasts, or I can make it a tier 3, where I launch a specific number of blasts, and then I launch a bigger one.
Yeah.
Like, I launch, maybe each blast is like 50 key, and then the final one is like 200.
Yeah.
So I'll shoot like 4. Or no, I'll shoot like 2 blasts and then just a giant one, or a beam or something. Not sure. Actually, no. We should probably just make the super key blast like 25, because, well, it's not really. I could just make it whatever the heck we want, because it's just a static key cost. It doesn't really matter how much each thing costs. Because I can do I can just launch a bunch of small blasts to distract, and then launch a bigger one,
Yeah, you can just maybe just use enough blasts that would be the cost.
Yeah. Because if I make it 25, well, I could launch, if we make the cost of the blasts 25, and then we can extend it for an extra 100, I can extend it for an extra 100 key just to launch a bigger blast or something.
And what you could also do is maybe it'd be like an AoE, like a cone shaped.
Yeah.
So like you would do like this many attacks, but only hit like at a maximum of this many per person.
Mm. And I know you've used this move in Kakarot. I don't believe this was the one that locked on, but once they're in the retina, it won't miss.
Yeah.
So if they're in my line of sight, say they don't miss, unless obviously the opponent's faster than me and gets behind me before I can start shooting them.
Yeah. So basically, if Tyler were to like try to dodge, he could just go behind you.
Mm. But he would have to end up behind me and not like to slightly to the left or slightly to the right. I'd say maybe a 90-degree FOV.
Yeah.
Instead of like a full 180, because that's not how people's eyes work. It'd be like a 90-degree FOV. Which he could easily get out of, but if I catch him off guard with it.
Yeah, like if you guard break him.
Mm. I don't know how useful Black Hole Driver would be against Tyler, because we don't exactly know what we're going to calculate as being the necessary speed of a black hole.
I guess in terms for escape velocity for that, I guess we would do blast times tier.
Maybe, yeah.
And then
So
the
they'd
speed
have
has
to
be
be
above that.
they'd have to be faster than 25,000, which Tyler can easily do.
Yeah. But not
But as it goes up for me, increasing it, it'll get harder and harder to escape. But I'm also not fighting Tyler yet, so it's not really something I'm too worried about.
yeah, like Slat wouldn't be able to fucking
Slat would just
dodge it.
fucking be stuck. Grants would be able to escape it. But Tyler's fighting Grants, and a Stone would also be stuck. So I could take them out in an ult, unless Slat decided to attack with like equal fervor, or at least in a tier 3.
Yeah, where
He
essentially
could minimize the damage he takes, basically. Because he could take 10,000 less damage, so if I deal... Actually, no, that would still one-shot him. Hey. You know what? We should probably raise Slat's Blast, at least. Because he's not even half of mine. So it's not really a fair fight, even though he has almost as much ki as me. Look at me rooting. Look at me fucking lawyering for the guys I'm supposed to fight.
Yeah, but I'm also my argument is that they're the first boys and you're fighting two of them, so I mean
you're right. But also, neither one of them
you
can escape. Neither one of them can basically ignore the gravity of my move, so I can one-shot them.
Yeah, so I guess up their blast.
Yeah.
I mean, they could also combine their blasts.
That is true. But even that, maybe. Tier 3 for them would be 6,000, and then tier 3 for them would be 1,500, so that'd be 7,500. My max damage is 20,000. Never mind. They still would not come close. They wouldn't nullify enough damage out of that.
Oh.
They'd only nullify like 7,000 out of the 27,000. So their blasts kind of has to go up. Well, the all-rounder does look kind of low on blast for being an all-rounder. I feel like maybe we should raise all of his, like, all the 1000s we see there to like 2000 maybe.
Yeah.
That would make it
Yeah.
seem more all-rounder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll just recalculate all the.
Oh, that's not.
Oh God! Do not do that. Do not make his fucking physical 42,100 or 41,200. We will never kill him.
That was 4,000. That was 421,000.
Oh God, even worse. So there's that, and then I'll have to recalculate all this stuff. His attacks are gonna be fucking massive. He's gonna be almost Tyler tier. Almost. Let's see.
Almost.
So if I go into my calculator and I do the attack calculation, which is stamina plus fizz, 2000 plus 2000 divided by 25. Yeah, he's at 160 attacks. That doubles his attacks, which is fine. 160 of those. His speed is
Oh,
20,000.
I mean, Mikey, I just realized something.
What? Where?
The other Z fighters are gonna be fighting too. Oh no.
I thought the other Z fighters were gonna be dead.
They'd have to be killed. Oob, Bulla, and Pan gotta be killed
Yeah. By
by
these,
the first three.
by the first three, I think they'll handle it.
It could just be like a cutscene then,
Yeah, I'll make it a cutscene.
and then
They get
this is
us.
them, and then this is them damaged and weakened.
I guess so. Yeah. Here, let me
Which
recalculate his power level first, or power rating before we. Wait, what was Oob's power level gonna be?
it's gonna have to change.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Let's see. So it's 8,000 times 2,000 times 1,500 divided by 1,250. Oh! Oh! Okay. So his power rating is 19 million. That's
2
fine, I
million more
guess.
than you.
Yeah. And then Slat is fucking 25 million. 10 million more than me. So okay, so now we'd be on like evenish footing because they can knock out 12,000. Actually, we might have to bump their health up even more. Actually, no.
Um,
They're supposed to get one shot by us, aren't they? Well, they're
no,
not supposed to be hard.
they're supposed to be a bit of a challenge, so I guess buff.
I mean, oh, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, they would have to be 25,000 to get out of my thing. A stone almost does. Maybe buff his stamina to 25.
Yeah, then I buffed his health to 10.
Oh boy, so he'll exactly meet it. So he'll be he won't be able to be trapped in it, but he can still be damaged by it if he's too close. Now I have to
Yeah.
recalculate that.
Like-
Fuck. 10,000 times 2,500 times 1,500 divided by
Which means
1,250. Ah! Oh! Oh boy. 30 million.
Oh,
Oh boy. I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm actually okay with that number.
and then
Oh, I have to recalculate his attacks too. He's gonna be like on par with fucking Tyler.
yeah, he's over
He-
twice
He's 180.
your attacks. He's over twice your attacks.
So yeah, that gives Tyler more reason to finish his fight faster. Because he might live. He'll survive an ult from me because he can escape it. Actually. Fuck it. We'll just say that the escape velocity is 25,000 for the level I'm at.
Yeah, just to keep it simple.
just to keep it simple. Keep it like multiples of 5. Let's just say for every, I don't know, make it every 500 I get, or 500 I get added to key, it goes up by like 5,000, something like that. Or blast damage, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll get stronger over time, but it won't just suddenly become broken as fuck. And this is what we call balancing, everybody. Balancing. It's amazing. All right, so we've got Slat, Grants, and a Stone done. Actually, Slat. Slat'll still be fine.
Rubus will buff the shit out of.
Yeah, Rubus, we're gonna have to. He's unless I did my math wrong. Wait, let me make sure I didn't do my math wrong first.
So he'll have 20,000 health.
I'm gonna check the original math first, just in case I did it wrong and I added a zero somewhere. Times 3,500 times 50. Okay, no, I didn't do my math wrong there. So if he has 20,000 health instead of, yeah, 20,000 times 3,500 times,
We'll give him 1,000 key,
okay, times 500. He's a
and then we'll give him
yeah, that might be okay because he's a grappler.
4,500 stamina.
Oh, don't do this to me. Actually,
He's
yeah,
gonna
go
be the
ahead.
grappler.
He's supposed to be stronger anyways.
Yeah, like a shit ton, and he's undamaged.
Give him like 1,000 blast, I guess, just to kind of keep that. Or you can leave the blast low. I don't know. Maybe his shtick is that he uses a key to strengthen his grip or something.
Maybe.
That's a little high.
It's fine.
Okay. I'm not. It's not exactly worrying to me. It's just like, the other guy had like. Actually, what did Slat
Remember,
had
you're going to
2,000,
be
Grants had
fighting
2,000.
these guys with Piccolo, Goten, and Trunks.
Right. And they're also weaker. So, well, that guy's key is weaker because he's a grappler. So I'm not too worried about it actually. Let me just recalculate that.
Yeah, and he can't even do
20,000
ults, so it's not like it
times.
really matters. Like, he will only be able to do like 4.5k blast. So it's not like it's gonna mean
Ah,
shit.
his power level is 36 million, or power rating is 36 million, which is stronger than the highest power rating of the other guys. And
Yeah, and he'll be the lowest.
yeah, because Grant was the one that Tyler was fighting. His power rating was
Yeah.
only 5.1 million, so he's actually a little weaker than Tyler by power rating. Did we want to buff him a little bit?
Who?
Grant's.
Nah, because he has
Nah,
to
he
finish the
seems
fight quick in order to help you.
right. So 36 million for Rubus.
Plus, still will be the total power rating of Grants and Slat.
Yeah. 36 million.
And then Rubus makes Stone look like shit. And he's only a grappler.
Yeah. The all-rounder looks like garbage in front of the grappler. And then we gotta make the specialist make the blaster look like a fucking pansy.
And then there'll be another all-rounder, which will be fucking obscenely strong.
Which will make fucking a stone look. It'll be
Fucking minuscule.
comparative. Yeah, he'll make a stone look like a fucking bitch.
It'll make a Stone look as if you're comparing the Stone to Slat or to Grants.
Yeah. Okay, so Rubus, we already have the stats in there for. We haven't developed their attacks yet, but we can work on that later. Sapphirus or Sapphirus, whichever one you want, however the heck you wanted to have that be pronounced.
Sephiroth.
Sapphirus, right. Uh, Yeah, spacing about it. Yeah,
just for
yeah. I didn't get through to do that on all of them yet, so
that's fine.
yeah. Okay, so for HP, I also didn't put in columns for current because this was copied before we made the adjustments to Tyler's sheet, which has the current.
Yeah, and also it's the villain, so it's
Yeah,
not
it's the
like
villain, so they're
super.
not going to change anyways. Well, not really. Not
Yeah,
these
not in
ones.
any meaningful way, not in any way that's we really need to pull back.
Yeah. So if we go for Sapphirus key, okay, once you get the main three done, I'll just calculate the power level. So if he's a specialist, he's gonna be what his focus is probably gonna be blast. So we can go ahead and make him. Oh, yeah, that'll. I guess that's okay. Actually, yeah, that'll be fine because these are the guys that we're fighting with. Piccolo, Trunks, and Goten. Are these the ones that kill them?
Yeah,
Okay.
this will be them like weakened.
Yeah, after fighting them. Which, since we're acquiring Super Saiyan before we fight them,
You'll acquire Super Saiyan when you fight them.
uh, and then they'll fuse into Quartz and Obsidius separately, and then they'll fuse
Yeah.
into Marble. After we still kick their ass.
Yeah. Essentially, you'll beat them, and then you'll have a little bit of training time, and
And
then
then
they'll
they'll
come
come
back
back as
with
Marble.
no, they'll come back as like the Stone Boys Mark II, so they'll be equal in power as the Gem Boys,
Ah,
and then you'll fight them because like they'll come back. Like the Gem Boys won't be any stronger, but the Stone Boys will. So it'll be a 1v3 for the both of you,
oh, jeez.
but you'll be stronger than them,
All right,
and they'll
cool.
fuse, which will make them stronger.
Which we'll then have to use like Super Saiyan 4. Not Super Saiyan 4, but we'll have to use the Super Saiyan form for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
then
then
it'll
they'll
be a
fuse
2v2.
together.
And then it'll be 2-on-1.
Then they'll be even stronger.
Yeah. But Tyler and I combined should, keyword should, be able to handle them.
Also, I'm basing Sapphiras on just a stronger version of um a stone, but with more key blasts as a specific.
I see that. Once you figure out the stamina, I'll calculate their power rating. Okay, so he's got 18,000 HP, 5,000 ki, 5,500 blasts, 3,000 stamina. Okay. 18, 1, 2, 3 times 3, 1, 2, 3. And that times half of ki, which is 2,500. Divide that by 1,250. Oh yeah, that's 108 million.
Yeah.
That's a big fucking jump from the 36 million of Rubis.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even match him in blast. Oh, that's scary.
What do you mean? Your blasts are 75 stronger.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
I mean,
Okay. Never
just
mind.
slightly below.
He's just slightly weaker than me in blast, but he's also like twice as fast as me. His strikes will deal damage to me if it's above tier 1.
And he has more.
Actually, his tier 1 strikes will do decent amount of damage to me. Yeah, and you were saying, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
And he has more key.
Yeah.
But
Which means
remember,
he
you
can do
also
more
level up.
blasts.
You level up by then.
Yeah, and we get like 100 points per level up, right? And then health
And then
gets 100.
and then all your other stats get plus 10.
Right. There's gonna be a point where that's not gonna be all that helpful.
Yeah, but it'll be
Yeah.
small little increments, so like you'll still be getting something out of it.
Yeah.
because like they're not supposed to be the what you rely on. Just supposed to help you,
Do what you need to do.
yeah, help balance your stats a bit more.
Mm,
So like if you're trying to go for a true all-rounder, you can just apply to what's lowest, and then everything else will still go up.
yeah.
And then we can just go with your idea too, where like every 10th level, it's you get every stat gets 100.
Oh, you were gonna put that in there too?
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of did that just for a consolidation thing, but also I guess the milestone would make sense.
Plus, it makes leveling up more significant too.
Yeah, it gives us more incentive to finish a fight, or rather to win a fight, because you're not
Yeah.
doing any of that. Well, are you
Yeah. If you
doing
lose, you
otherworld?
lose.
Yeah, if you lose, you lose. You're not doing no otherworld bullshit.
Yeah. If you die, you don't get anything out of it.
Yeah, unless you're in the Tower of Heaven.
Yeah, which is different.
Mm. I'm just gonna do a quick check on stuff because I'm intrigued and I would like to know how strong will I be in Super Saiyan? So if Super Saiyan's 443,
Yeah. And also remember to up all sets by 10, and then apply 100 to whatever you would be applying to, and then do Super Saiyan.
huh? Right, because we'd level up before then. 61, 25, and then I'd probably up my blast some more, so that'd be 56, so I don't have to worry about that. And then that times 4, I believe, 2450, 24,500. Bleh. You're getting a little staticky over there.
Oh,
Alright, yeah, the static's gone. And then, so 24,500, 4, 5, 7, 5. Was it a 3 times to ki or 3 times to stamina?
it was through. Hold on.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll look into the pictures.
It is 3 times for stamina, 5 times for ki.
Alright,
Oh, and 4 times for health.
okay. Yep. Okay, so stamina was 3 times. Oh wait, I forgot to add 10. Said it was 5 times for ki?
Yeah.
Okay. And then stamina 1560 times 3. So 24,500 times 22,925. No, wait. Times 4,680. There's that, and then I have to take 22,925. Divide that by 2. Times that 1250. Oh, that puts me at about a billion power level. Interesting, interesting. So, yeah, that would put me at about a billion power level if I were to go Super Saiyan
Yeah,
and apply
which
those stats.
is
Pretty,
very much higher
very much higher.
than 108 million.
Yeah, which is the current highest we've got. And then I'll calculate out the attacks. So give me a second. So 3,000 plus 3,000 divided by 25. Oh, 240 attacks. You typing that in or me?
240,
Yep.
which is still less than Tyler.
Still less than Tyler, which is absolutely befuddling. That motherfucker has 291 attacks, like a fucking god. Oh, also, Tyler's Saiyan name is Jirdo, because we're both playing Saiyans in the test run, and my name is Avako. So if
which
we fuse, we become Avocado or Jirko.
which is pretty funny.
It's pretty funny that one of our fusion names could be Avocado, and then the other one could be Jirko, which is technically a biblical reference.
Yes.
We should totally have a move called Trumpet Sound that no matter what, it breaks the opponent's guard.
Yeah. That actually would be a cool idea.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool idea. Kind of like how
Or it's
Gogeta
like
has a
it's a key thing, but it's sort of like a charge.
yeah.
Or instead of
Uh,
like a normal energy charge, it does that, and anything within a certain distance takes stamina damage.
yeah, and then well, it's kind of like how Gogeta has a move where he just doesn't take any damage. Like he just blocks everything, no matter how strong it is. What was it? Punisher
Um,
Drive?
yeah, I think so.
Hmm. So it's kind of like that. I like how Tyler has 291 attacks and can do 20,000 damage with his ultimate, but then his power level's just 6 million.
Yeah, his power rating is fucking
It's
minuscule.
fucking minuscule in comparison to everybody, including the person he's fighting, he's above, but it's just fucking, oh, the next fight is gonna be so fucking hard for him. Well, no, it'll be easy for him, but it's not gonna be very fun. And then Emeraldus. Oh, okay. I see where we're going here. Oh, okay, that's better. And then his stamina is just gonna be fucking busted, isn't it? So was Emeraldus design or supposed to be the strongest of the three, or was that supposed to go to Sapphirus?
It's
Yeah.
probably gonna go to Emeraldus.
All right. So 25,000 times 4,000 equals that, and then that times 2,000. So that divide that by 1250. His power level is 160 million,
Yeah, so much stronger than
according to
Sephiroth.
power rating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll calculate out his attacks in a second. Because, I could still. Well, no, I wouldn't one shot him, but I take out most of his health in one hit if it hit.
I
Even
think
if.
this would be the first character to have more attacks than Tyler.
Maybe. So that's 8,000 divided by 25 is 320. Fuck yeah. That's not terrifying at all. And then isn't he like almost as fast as Tyler?
Uh, yeah, he's like
He-
40,000 versus
Versus
45,000,
45,750. So
750.
he's pretty close. Grant's was the only one even slightly as close. Grant's and
We won't make them the
Ruby's.
same power level, actually. We'll make them
Considering
increased.
that, and then we'll just put them at like level 56.
Yeah, 55 to 57.
All right, so Sapphiros is going to be
And then we'll
level
do the same with
56,
the others.
and then Rubis is going to be
Oh,
55, and then Emeraldus is going to be 57. There you go. All right, there's that. Whew. Oh boy. Next up is Quartz, Obsidius, and Marble. That's kind of scary to think about. Well, after we fight
Yeah,
these guys, we'll get like 3 levels, won't we? Because they're kind of a big fight.
yeah, 3 levels, yeah.
Yeah, so
And then
yeah,
once you fight them again, it won't, the whole arc will be, because it'll just be consecutive fighting from then on.
yeah,
It'll be 5 levels.
right, right, right. Because that's the final stages of the fight. And we're giving Marble, not including the people we fight before they become Marble. Marble himself is getting like what, 4 phases?
Yeah.
Okay, so he'll basically come back just slightly stronger.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll just extend, like, make the things bigger,
Mm,
and then just have like phase 1, phase 2.
yeah. So Quartz. Quartz. He's a brawler.
Oh,
Yeah, it bothers me, don't worry. Hold on, there's a way to... I can't figure that out. Alright, so we're coming up on the hour-and-a-half mark here, so I think with finishing up those 3 villains there, I'll go quickly right through them again, and then we'll cut this off right after that, because then we're going into the further on people.
mm,
So, and normally our podcasts are only like an hour, but this one's going to be extra long, I guess. So
yeah.
going over the villains we're going to be fighting in the first arc. First up, we're going to have the Stony Boys, Grants, Slat, and a Stone. Grants is a level 52 blaster. His power rating is 25 million. Pretty high, considering that my own power level is only 17 million and Tyler's is 6 million. Grants is a level 52 brawler of the Minorite race, which is the race we created for this. His power rating is 5.1 million or 5.2 million rounded up. Not really much of a challenge for Tyler, but he's there because his stats most closely reflect Tyler's, so he will give him the most challenge. A Stone is an all-rounder. He's also one that I'm going to have to fight to keep distracted so that Tyler can defeat the Brawler, who is the biggest threat to me. Um, he is a level 53 or 54. I think he's level 54.
Yeah, they go up 1 level each villain. So the weakest is like 52, the strongest will be like
So he's
57.
he's a level 52 all-rounder type villain with a power level of 30 million, a little under double mine. Don't mind me confusing the terms power level and power rating. Power level is entirely dependent on the character's level. Power rating is dependent on stats, and we have a equation for that. So if I say power level, I probably mean power rating, and I'm gonna try and not say power level
Yeah,
anymore.
because
It's really
originally
confusing.
power rating was just we're gonna call power level,
Yeah,
and then we decided to change that.
yeah. And then going on to the Gem Boys, Rubis is a level 55 minorite, which means he's a weaker minorite. All of these 6 villains that we just created are all minorites because their imperfections have not been worked out. He has a power level of 36 million, being a grappler. He is going to once again be a very tough opponent for Tyler to defeat because his stats very closely reflect and in some cases exceed Tyler's own. So it will be a challenge to fight him. Sapphirus, I think I pronounced that right,
Yeah,
is a level 56 specialist. Now, his power rating is 108 million. He is one of the ones that I will be fighting, probably. His ki and his blasts, his ki exceeds my own. His blasts do not. So he is more of an even footing with me. His stamina exceeds me. His strike exceeds me. Uh, his physical exceeds mine. His health, all of his main three stats exceed mine. He has almost 3 times as many attacks as I do. He is going to be a very tough fight for me, and that is the point. We are going to get level up, so it might be a little easier, but we don't have those yet, so we don't know how we're going to allocate. Emeraldus is a level 57 all-rounder type, meaning that all of his stats are generally around the same area with a little bit of variance. His power rating is 160 million. The biggest stat he has is obviously going to be his HP, which is 25,000. His ki and stamina are equivalent at 4,000, which contributes to his high power rating. His blasts are weaker than mine, his physical is excessively higher than mine, and his strike is also excessively higher than mine. He also exceeds me in speed, so that's going to be a very tough fight for me, and it might be actually a tough fight for Tyler, depending on if he defeats his opponent fast enough. So these are the main 6 villains that we've completed tonight that we are going to test run when we start this up.
I've pretty much just completed Quartz.
Did you? Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, did you already calculate out his power rating?
Yep.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
It's like
440 million.
It's like 4 times stronger than Emeraldus.
Yeah, that makes sense though. But these are the first 6 villains that we're gonna fight in there. Quartz was a new addition. I'm not gonna go over him because you're gonna have to want us to do another one of these to find out. But basically, we're creating an entire system for this. We're working out all the kinks. We're working out how combat works. We're working out how stats work. And once it's done, we will definitely divulge all this information. We might actually try and publish this, depending on how decent it is, maybe. It depends on how it works out. We don't know what the future may hold for it. Sound fair?
Yeah.
So thank you for joining thank you for joining Gaius and I on the FrameRate podcast. My name is Morg, and we'll catch you next time.